Have you ever wondered what kind of message can we get from a meteorite? Today I'm here at the Natural History Museum of Denmark to meet with Georgy. He's a Ph.D. student at the BluBulB Institute, where they do a lot of cool stuff with meteorites and analyzing rocks coming from the space. Let's figure it out. Hi Georgy, how are you?
I'm alright. How are you?
I'm fine. Coming to meet you. What is this?
Some meteorite from Greenland.
What kind of meteorites it is?
That's the meteorite where every Friday at 4 p.m. we meet downstairs to go for beers.
Okay, this is the importance of these meteorites.
Yeah, it's a landmark here.
Are you studying this meteorite?
No, I don't study this one, but I study a lot of different iron meteorites, yes.
Can you bring us there?
Yeah, sure.
Let's go.
Perfect. Hello, so this is where we start studying every single meteorite, because before we can do anything with it in the actual lab, this is like a sample prep lab, like it's a pre-lab. So before we can do anything with it in the actual lab, we need to get a small piece of it. So what I do here is I study, for example, iron meteorites, like the one downstairs, but I study different ones. And what I do with them is that I take a meteorite, and then I need to get like a small piece of it, like this one. Small piece like this, small, tiny, shiny, cute iron meteorite.
It's super cool.
Yes, and so I need to get a small piece like this, like that. And for that, we use something like this one. This is a wire saw that has a wire and it can saw. So after we get the small piece, we go to the clean lab, and let's go there. Clean lab number 3, yes. We have, I guess, 2 more. Yeah, so what happens to the meteorites here? So I showed you some small pieces of meteorites, and that's the next step that happens to them. We basically need to make them into liquid. So every single beaker here is a meteorite.
This is meteorite soup.
I guess.
But how from a solid sample you can get this liquid?
Yeah, so we use acids. For this we use acids. So this whole thing happens here. So what we do here in our lab is we do isotope analysis, which means we need to. So we basically use some small. We use some traces in the meteorite. It's basically like cosmochemical DNA or something like this. We use it to fingerprint planet formation, to understand which planets relate to which building blocks of planet. We need to separate one particular element, one chemical element from a meteorite, the one we want to study. And we do this using those things, which are called column chemistry. And for example, I study nickel. And so yeah, here you can see the recipe for this one. So this is the recipe for this chemistry. So basically what happens is we put a small drop of meteorite here, and then this drop of meteorite goes through this. It's like organic compound that reacts with different chemical elements. And what happens here, that nickel goes through, but zinc gets stuck. So basically, yeah, I put my sample in there. By the time the samples go through, only nickel goes through. Everything else in the sample gets stuck in there, like stuff that I don't need, iron, zinc, or whatever. And then we end up with something like this. This is purified nickel from a meteorite. Once we have this, we can measure this nickel, its isotope composition, on mass spectrometer.
We saw some sample in the labs. What they can tell us about Earth?
Not much really. I mean, every single meteorite is not enough to understand anything really. But once we get a lot of them, once we have all of this data, like once we have a lot of different information about different meteorites, then we can compare planets and try and understand from what kind of material in space that there is in space, from what kind of material they formed.
So, Georgy, what are you telling us tonight?
So I'm going to be talking about, I'm actually going to be mostly talking about what my colleagues here are doing, because I'm gonna in the end I'm gonna talk a little bit about my stuff, about the meteorites and using them as to fingerprint play information. But what I'm gonna start with is talk about all my colleagues in this Center for Star Play Information and what they are doing what their different ways to study play information.
Okay, that sounds amazing. See you tonight.